Okay, students. Yesterday we had started with the second chapter of Vistas, that is the Tiger King, right? We had read 2 pages already, so I'm going to quickly recapitulate. Tiger King is the protagonist, the main hero of the story. He was given various titles, but he was known as the Tiger King. Then writer talked to the readers. He told that I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as the Tiger King only. He also said that those who read about him, they aspire to meet such a man with indomitable courage, but their desire cannot be fulfilled. Why it cannot be fulfilled? Because the Tiger King has already died. Then astrological prediction was made that he is going to die. Okay, everybody is going to die. The 10-day-old child spoke up, right? He said, what? That everybody has to die. The prediction is going to become meaningful when you are going to tell how I'm going to die. What would be the method? What would be the reason of my death? So everybody was shocked and stupefied. They had never seen a 10-day-old child speaking. They were all amazed. Yet, anyways, the story is a fiction. Anybody can speak. Even a 10-day-old child can speak. It is author's wish. So, eventually it was made out that a tiger is going to become the reason of his death. Why? Because he is born in the hour of the bull. Bull and tigers are enemies with each other. So, a tiger is going to become the reason of his death. Okay. Then, after this, it has been told that you might think that the Tiger King was afraid after hearing this being pronounced, but he was not so. He said, let tigers beware of me instead. Then he came at the age of 20. The kingdom, which had been with the ministers by then, which was being run by the ministers, came into his hands. So he got to know the prediction made at the time of his birth, that a tiger is going to become the reason of his death. His upbringing is being shown. He got a typical English upbringing, okay? Drank the milk of an English cow, saw English movies, got brought up by an English nanny, and so on. And he was a proclaimed king of his kingdom at the age of 20. Then, after hearing that prediction, he went out on a tiger hunt. He killed his first tiger. He was very happy. He called the astrologer, showed him the dead tiger, asked him that he told him that a tiger is going to become the reason of his death, whereas he has been able to kill a tiger himself. Now, what did he have to say? The astrologer made an amendment in the prediction. A bit of a change was done. What was that change done, beta? That he may kill 99 tigers very bravely in exactly the same manner, but the 100th tiger is going to become the reason of his death. Okay, up to here we had already read, right? So here we say the last line, as you can read here, the prince was born in the hour of the bull. Bull and the tiger are enemies, therefore death comes from a tiger, he explained. Further, I am explaining to you. You may think that Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur was thrown into a quake when he heard the word tiger. He was really afraid, you might have thought. Oh, sorry, this also we have already done. Here, speak without fear. You must be very careful with the 100th tiger. Page number 10, as you can see on my screen, on your screen also. So, till here we have already done. I'm going further. What if the 100th tiger were also killed? He asked, what would he say if he managed to kill even the 100th tiger? The king asked. Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and I shall cut off my tuft. So he claims that he is a perfect astrologer. His astrological skills and his efficiency as an astrologer has never been challenged. It has never been challenged. So he is going to tear up all his books on astrology. He is going to set fire to them, and he is going to cut off his tuft, crop my hair short, and become an insurance agent. So if it goes wrong, he is going to leave this profession of astrology forever, and he is going to pursue the profession of an insurance agent. So he finished on an incoherent, unsettled note. Part 3. From that day onwards, it was celebration time for all the tigers inhabiting Pratibandhpuram state. Naturally, till now, the tigers had been killed by various people. Right? Everybody was entitled to kill them for their sport and entertainment. But now on, When the Maharaja got to know that the reason of his death would be the 100th tiger, naturally he wanted that he alone should kill them, nobody else should touch them. The state banned tiger hunting by anyone except the Maharaja. A proclamation was issued. What is a proclamation, dear children? An official order was issued to the people of the state to the effect that if anyone dared to fling so much as a stone at a tiger, fling means throw, all his wealth and property would be confiscated. It is going to be confiscated. Confiscated means it is going to become the state property, right? So nobody is even entitled, nobody is even supposed to throw a stone at a tiger except for the Maharaja. He alone has all the rights to kill the tigers. Maharaja vowed means pledged. He took a pledge that he would attend to all other matters only after killing the 100 tigers. Initially, the king seemed well set to realize his ambition. It seemed as if soon he is going to realize his ambition. Which ambition now he had? Killing 100 tigers, in order to prove that astrological prediction wrong. Not that he faced no dangers. There were times when the bullet missed its mark. Many a times he used to hit the tiger, but the bullet used to miss the mark. It did not hit the tiger as destined. The tiger leapt upon him. It also used to happen, it would happen. The tiger, which was not hit by the bullet, would leap upon the tiger king himself, and he fought with the beast with his bare hands. Bare hands means without any weapons, he used to fight with the tiger. Each time it was the Maharaja who won. And every time who used to taste victory, it was the Maharaja himself who used to fight the tiger barehandedly, and Maharaja used to taste victory every time. Next page. At another time, he was in danger of losing his throne. Throne means his kingdom, his royal chair. Right? There was a time once when he was about to lose his royal chair. So it's an important incident. Let's hear it out. It's funny too. You are going to be amused after listening to this. Listen carefully. What happened? A high-ranking British officer visited Pratibanpuram state. A very high-ranking British officer came to the state. He was very fond of hunting tigers and fonder of being photographed with the tigers that he had shot. Okay, so he had a lot of he was really fond of hunting tigers, that British officer. Yeah, rather fonder of being photographed with the dead tiger that he had shot. As usual, he wished to hunt tigers in Pratibanpuram state also, but you already know that thus tiger hunting had been banned by anyone except the Maharaja. But the Maharaja was firm on his resolve. Resolve means decision. Which decision had he taken? He had taken the decision to keep tiger hunting reserved to himself, and nobody else is entitled to even throw a stone at a tiger. So he was firm on this resolve. He refused permission to that British officer also. I can organize any other hunt. You may go on a boar hunt. Right? Boar are, wild pigs. You may conduct a mouse hunt, he said. We are ready for a mosquito hunt, he said. So this is once again to instill humor in the story. But tiger hunt, that is impossible. The Maharaja firmly resolved and he declined that British officer. He said, we may organize any other hunt, but hunting of tigers is prohibited in my state. It is not allowed to anyone except me. The British officer's secretary sent a word to the Maharaja through the Diwan that the Durai himself did not have to kill the tiger. So what did the British officer say? His secretary sent a word to the Maharaja. His secretary told to the Maharaja through the Diwan. British officer's secretary sent a message to Maharaja through Maharaja's Diwan that the Durai himself did not have to kill the tiger. Who is a Durai? A high-ranking British officer is called a Durai. Maharaja could do the actual killing. So offer was what? Actual killing would be done by whom? By the Maharaja. What was important to the Durai was a photograph of himself holding the gun and standing over the tiger's carcass. Carcass means the dead body of an animal. So offer was sent across through Diwan to Maharaja that actual killing would be done by the Maharaja himself. Whereas what the Durai wants, what this British officer wants, only a photograph holding his gun high on the dead body of the dead tiger. But the Maharaja would not agree to even this proposal. If he relented now, if he agreed now, if he gave up now, what would he do if other British officers turned up for the same requests? Naturally, the one who is shown in the photograph holding the gun high on the tiger's carcass would be considered the killer, the hunter, naturally. So Maharaja did not want to show it to anyone that tiger killing is available in his state. So he declined. He told him not to do so. Because he prevented the British officer from fulfilling his desire, the Maharaja stood in a danger of losing his kingdom itself. Naturally, it was declined. The British officer got furious and Maharaja stood in a danger of losing his kingdom. Now he thought of the solution. Now, naturally, the next step was to prevent his kingdom going to the British officer or going to anybody else's hands. Maharaja and the Diwan held deliberations over this issue. They held discussions. As a result, a telegram was dispatched forthwith to a famous British company of jewelers in Calcutta. So, finally, a telegram was dispatched to whom? To a famous British company of jewelers in Calcutta. What was the message sent along? Sent samples of expensive diamond rings of different designs. Various diamond rings were ordered by the Maharaja. Some 50 rings arrived. Maharaja sent the whole lot to the British officer's good lady. Who's British officer? That very British officer who was declined to kill tigers. In order to make him happy, his wife was to be pleased by sending 50 diamond rings. King and the minister expected the Duraisani to choose 1 or 2 rings and send the rest back. What was the expectation by the king? He and the minister thought that the Duraisani, the wife of British officer, is going to retain 5-6 and send the rest back. Within no time at all, the Duraisani sent her reply, "Thank you very much for your gifts." Whereas the lady had retained all 50 and with herself and sent a reply to the Maharaja. What reply did she send? That, "Thank you very much for your gifts." In 2 days, a bill of 3 lakh rupees came from the British jewelers. Naturally, in those days, 3 lakh rupees would be a big amount, equivalent to crores these days. Maharaja was happy that though he had lost 3 lakh rupees, yet he had managed to retain his kingdom. Whereas Maharaja was extremely happy, thinking that at the cost of rupees 3 lakhs, he had managed to retain the kingdom. So here part 3 ends. In part 3, we have seen Maharaja killing tigers barehandedly sometimes, or fighting with them. Each time he used to be the one who used to win the battle. Then a danger came to his thorn. What was the danger? The British officer's danger. How did he avert it? By sending 50 diamond rings to his wife. Right? They expected that she is going to keep 3-4. Rather, she kept all 50 and sent a thank you note to the Maharaja. Maharaja was still happy. Why? Because at the cost of 3 lakh rupees, he had managed to retain his kingdom. Clear? Now we come to part 4. Maharaja's tiger hunts continued to be highly successful. Within 10 years, he was able to kill 70 tigers. So, within a span of 10 years, he managed to kill 70 tigers, which was a huge amount. And then an unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. What is an unforeseen hurdle? Unforeseen means unpredicted. Hurdle means an obstacle came to his way. What was the obstacle in this mission of tiger hunting? The tiger population became extinct. Next page, in the forest of Pratibandhuram. Okay, so what had happened? The tiger population became extinct in the forest of Pratibandhuram state. No more tigers could be found. Who knows whether the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri? Right? They started adopting some birth control methods, because of which no further tiger population came. Or harakiri means some suicide or some other methodology to die. Or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot down by British hands alone. Okay, so it could be another possibility that it is also written in order to infuse humor in the story. Now they did not want to die from the Indian Maharaja. They were tired of being killed by him. So now they wanted to be killed by somebody else. That is why they ran from the state. Basically, the basic thing which is being told here is what? That the tiger population became dry in Pratibandhuram state and no more tigers were to be found by the Maharaja to kill. Now, one day the Maharaja sent for the Diwan in order to once again find a solution to this problem of ending of tigers population. He wanted to discuss the matter with his Diwan. He asked him, "Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine?" he asked, brandishing his gun, pointing out his gun towards the divan. He said that, don't you realize that still I am short of 30 tigers to complete my tally of the 100? So he wanted to ask him, how should we obtain those 30 tigers? Shuddering at the sight of the gun, the divan cried out, Your Majesty, I am not a tiger. He was afraid because the Tiger King, the Maharaja, had that gun in his hands. It was brandished towards whom? It was shown towards the divan. So, being afraid, he said, Sir, please don't show me this gun. I am not a tiger. Why are you pointing this gun towards me? Which idiot could call you a tiger? No, I am not a gun either, he said. Sir, and I am not even a gun, so there is no need pointing out this gun towards me. You are neither a tiger nor a gun, Diwan Sahib. I summoned you here for a different purpose. Now Maharaja told him the purpose of calling him. Summoned means you are being called for a different purpose. I have decided to get married. Diwan began to babble even more. Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already if I marry you. So he said, Sir, why have you called me? I already possess 2 wives. And how can I marry you? Why have you called me to get married to you? The poor Diwan thought he has been called by the Maharaja to get married to him. It is once again to make the story humorous. Diwan began to babble even more. Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already if I marry you. Don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What I want is a tiger. Now, he was so foolish, the Diwan. Diwan thought that the Tiger King wants to get married to a tiger. That is why he has called me to arrange for a tigress or something. So he said, Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword. They were so brave. They were married to their sword. If you like, marry the gun. If you also want to portray your bravery, at least marry your gun. Right? So these Kshatriyas, they used to get married to their weapons only. So he also wanted to tell him, if you want to show your skill or your bravery as a king, you may also marry your gun. What is the need of a tiger? A tiger king is more than enough for the state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well. Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. Right? So he laughed out loud. He said, I am not thinking of marrying either a tiger or a gun, Diwan Sahib, but a girl from the ranks of human beings. From human species only, I want to marry a girl, but with one condition. What is it? First, you may drop statistics of tiger population in different native states. In the surrounding states, I want you to draw a statistics. A graph has to be drawn. Doing what? Calculating the tiger population in all the native states. Next, you may investigate if there is a girl I can marry in the royal family of the state. Next, I want that you should investigate if there is a girl in the royal family of the native states only with a high tiger population, with a large tiger population. So this is what I want. Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from a state which possessed a large number of tigers. Orders were executed. Now, most people get married out of love. Most people get married to make a family. But here is a person getting married in order to find the required number of tigers. Fine. So, all his actions were determined by only completing his tally of 100. Even an important decision of marriage of your life was governed by the same thing. Okay. Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from a state which possessed a large number of tigers. Maharaja Jang Bahadur killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. In this manner, 99 tiger skins adorned means they were decorated, the walls of the reception hall in the Pratibandpuram palace. It means now finally Maharaja was able to kill 99 tigers. So how many remained to complete his tally of 100? Only 1. Next is part 5, which we are going to do in our next session. So we have completed part 4 also. 2 more parts we have completed today. And your assignment will be once again to make a flowchart of these 2 parts as you had made earlier also of the first 2 parts also. Okay, till I send you a third video or part 3 Zoom class, whatever it might be, right? Okay, so this one to be considered as a continuation of yesterday's Zoom. Fine, we have completed part 4. I hope you have understood all of